difference do you think it would have made if the likes of Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn, who I'm sure some of us here really respect, if in 2004 and 2008, if they hadn't jumped on the anybody but Bush or anybody but McCain bandwagon, what difference would it have made in building a broader movement, even if in 2008, even if Obama would have lost? I mean, wouldn't it have made a bigger difference if they would have gotten behind McKinney or gotten behind Nader?
I don't know. What Mark's implying, in case that two of the better-known leftist writers for long decades, Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn, sort of inexplicably in 2004 insinuated that a vote for Kerry is better than nothing, and in 2008 the same with Obama. I thought, particularly in 2004, because Kerry lost, and Kerry had this radical left suddenly behind him, and he had the fake left, the Michael Moores and Eddie Vedder and all these people, you know, and he still lost. It actually showed the impotence of this type of left, where they don't even have. I mean, George Bush was eminently beatable. He was seen as a cartoon character, and John Kerry couldn't beat him even with the support of some radical left. So I don't even know how much, if anything, it might have taught us that let's move past them. Their time is done. Let's move past them and try something else. Anyone else? Well, thank you for coming. Thank you. Oh, okay, wait, one more in the back.
You know, I just wanted to continue on Obama. One point. I was curious if Noam Chomsky said a very interesting thing about Obama, and what he said was that it was very unclear to Chomsky what Obama stood for. He said he was kind of a blank slate, and everybody could project onto him what he was. People for war could project, people against war could project. So I was wondering what you think about that.
In his talks,
yeah.
Yes, he talked in platitudes. I mean, the fact that they would talk about his soaring rhetoric, I thought he was an incredibly dull and uninteresting speaker. It just speaks to the level of discussion in this country that he's considered a superior orator. He said nothing of interest. He used platitudes. So in that sense, I agree with Chomsky. You could go to one of his talks, and you go there with your hopes and dreams, and he talks about this vague sense of what he's going to do, and you assign them to it. But if you read what his record was, if you went to Obama.com and they had issues, and you clicked on War and Peace, and you saw it, he's done it all. He basically had your classic corporate politician platform. And he never ever said anything anti-war. His argument against Bush was it was the wrong war.
Yeah.
That's all, nothing anti-war. And as a quote I said right here, we will not defend for our way of life, nor will we waver in its self-defense. I mean, there's no questioning. Now, George Bush Sr. once said, I will never apologize for the United States, no matter what it does. What's the difference? What's the difference? They're figureheads defending a way of life that a capitalist way of life that top 2% make the maximum amount of money, then the middle 20% make just enough creature comforts to survive, and the rest, who cares about them? And the rest is growing. And the genius of the system is those people they say who cares about, their goal is to break into the 20%, not to change the system. They just want to win lotto. They want to be on a reality TV show. Their hero, Bill Gates. These people are heroes, and it's depressing, and it needs nonstop challenge and nonstop work, and that's what I do. Anybody?
I have one more question.
Sure.
It's a carry on the solution question.
Sure.
It's mostly because I don't know much about Mickey Z as a person. I read this today and came here. Not solutions, but what do you do? I mean, I know you do the writing and everything, but what other steps do you do? And as I said, I just don't know.
Well, I do a lot of this stuff, and I'm in personal levels. I'm a vegan, and I live a simple life and all that. And it's a tricky question. I get asked this question, and I don't want to sound confrontational, but sometimes I say that if I walked out the door right now, hopped in an SUV, lit up a sign on my cell phone, went to Burger King drive-thru, it wouldn't change a word that I said. It's really not about the messenger. I don't do that. So I don't really want to make it about me or personalizing what I do or don't do. But I will say this: we live in a culture, in a society where certain skill sets can be rewarded in a huge way. And I like to believe that I have the skill sets, if I chose to, that right now, at this point in my life, at my age, I could have the corner office in Solomon Brothers down on Wall Street, making more money than it's obscene how much money I can make. And I'd like to believe that part of the steps that I've taken, for better or for worse, is that I've opted not to use my skill sets in the function of continuing and promoting and propagating this machine. So if you ask me what would be the biggest step I did, it was that. It was a conscious decision to not be part of this machine and to make conscious decisions all the time, whether it's for work, whether it's what I buy or don't buy, and sometimes it's not easy because we live in a very materialistic culture, but I guess that would be the big, I could tell you all individual choices that I make, and obviously I write books and do talks and write on the web and all that stuff, but on a strictly personal level, that was probably the biggest choice you could ever say I made. Anybody else? Well, thanks so much for coming, and I hope you guys make contact and,